The evening sun burned low over the horizon as Ibrahim Traoré's convoy rumbled down a narrow road outside Ouagadougou. He had just returned from a border village where people begged for food and protection. His mind was heavy with their voices, but his eyes stayed sharp, always scanning. The street was alive, the hum of motorcycles, the chatter of market vendors, the smell of roasted peanuts mixing with exhaust. For a moment, Ibrahim leaned back in his seat. Then he saw it. At a bend, under the crooked sign of a mechanic's shop, a small boy wrestled with a wrench nearly as big as his arm. His shirt torn, his shorts stained with oil. He bent over a rusted car until the wrench slipped from his hands and clattered onto the dirt. "Fool," the mechanic barked, swinging a rag at him. "Pick it up, faster!" The boy flinched, snatched the wrench, and tried again. Ibrahim's chest tightened. He tapped the glass. "Stop the car." The brakes hissed. Guards exchanged nervous glances, but Ibrahim was already out, dust clinging to his boots as he walked straight toward the shop. The air inside stank of gasoline and sweat. The boy looked up, startled, grease smeared across his cheek. Their eyes met, and Ibrahim saw it, that hollow, tired surrender no child should ever carry. He knelt, lowering himself until he was face to face with the boy. "What's your name?" he asked gently. "Issa." "Why are you here, Issa? Shouldn't you be in school?" Issa's eyes flicked toward the mechanic. Then he whispered, "School is finished. No money. My father is gone. My mother sells mangoes. I must work." The mechanic stepped forward, forcing a smile. "Excellency, forgive him. He is useful here. He learns. He eats. What more can we do? Children must help their families." Ibrahim's eyes snapped to him. His voice was sharp. "Useful? He is a child, not a tool. His hands should hold a pen, not bleed on bolts." The shop went silent. Workers shifted uneasily. Passers-by stopped to listen. Ibrahim turned back to Issa. "Tell me the truth. Do you want this life, to bend your back until it breaks?" Issa's voice cracked. "No. But I have no choice." The words cut through the air. Ibrahim rose, his voice carrying over the crowd. "Then hear me now. Every child in Burkina Faso has a choice. This boy will not die in grease and dust. Not while I live." Gasps spread. Some thought it was theater, but then Ibrahim stretched out his hand. "Issa, come with me." The boy blinked. "Me?" "Yes, you." Issa clutched the wrench as if it anchored him. "But, my mother. She needs me. She will be angry." Ibrahim's tone softened. "Your mother will not lose you. She will gain a son with books in his hands instead of rust. Trust me, Issa. I will speak to her." The mechanic burst out. "Excellency, this is madness. He earns here. If he leaves, who feeds them?" Ibrahim's gaze turned cold. If a nation feeds on the labor of its children, it starves its own future. Not this boy. Not today. Issa's hand trembled, then slowly slipped into Ibrahim's. Phones lifted. Whispers spread. The president himself pulling a child from labor. It was unheard of. As they walked to the car, something slipped from Issa's pocket. Ibrahim picked it up. A crumpled sketch, rough but detailed, of a car. Gears, wheels, a dashboard, a dream drawn on paper. "You made this?" Ibrahim asked. Issa's cheeks flushed. "When no one looks. I like cars. I want to build one." A smile touched Ibrahim's face. He folded the sketch into his jacket. "Then you will. Starting today." He helped Issa into the car, then turned back to the stunned mechanic. "Mark this day. One boy is free. Tomorrow it must be more." The convoy rolled on, dust rising behind them. For the first time, Issa wasn't walking away from his dream. He was being driven toward it. The convoy turned into a crowded neighborhood. As dusk deepened, vendors shouted their last sales, children darted barefoot through narrow alleys, and women balanced trays of mangoes on their heads. Smoke from cooking fires hung in the air, carrying the scent of roasted corn and charcoal. Inside the car, Issa sat, stiff and silent, clutching the seat like it might throw him off. He had never ridden in such a vehicle before, never sat beside a man others called president. His small body trembled, torn between awe and fear. Ibrahim noticed the boy's unease and leaned closer, his voice calm. "Do not be afraid, Issa. Tonight, we will speak to your mother. Together." Issa's voice was barely a whisper. "She will be angry. She depends on me." "Then let us listen to her heart," Ibrahim said. The car slowed near a cluster of tin-roofed homes. Dust swirled in the fading light. Ibrahim stepped out first, taking Issa's hand as the neighborhood stirred with whispers. Some pointed, others murmured his name. Then, from one doorway, a woman emerged with hands dripping water from washing mangoes. Issa's mother. She froze, her eyes locked onto her son beside the president. The basket she carried slipped from her arms, mangoes rolling across the dirt. "Issa!" she cried, rushing forward. "What is this? Why are you with him?" Issa lowered his head, unable to speak. Ibrahim lifted a steady hand. "Mother, peace. Your son is safe." "Safe?" Her voice cracked with both fear and anger. "He should be at work. Do you think I want him to suffer? No, but we need him. Without his work, we do not eat." Her words rang through the street. Neighbors leaned closer. An old man muttered, "Books do not fill empty stomachs." Another shook his head. "Better a child who works than a family that starves." The crowd's voices swelled, echoing her desperation. "Excellency," she pleaded, clutching her chest. "Do not take him away. If he leaves the shop, who will feed us? How will I live?" Ibrahim studied her. Thin, weary, hands cracked from years of labor. His voice was gentle but unyielding. "Mother, you have carried 2 lives alone, but no child's shoulders were made for such weight. His hands should hold pens, not grease and pain." Her eyes glistened, but she shook her head. "Dreams do not cook rice." The murmurs rose again, tension pressing in, until Ibrahim lifted his hand. Silence fell. He stepped onto a broken stone so all could hear. "My brothers, my sisters, listen to me. Every coin a child earns today costs him 1,000 tomorrow. Every hour he labors instead of learning is a chain on his future. Do you wish Isa to bend over bolts until his back breaks? Or do you want him to rise and lift his family with him?" The murmurs softened. Mothers looked at their sons. Fathers frowned, caught between survival and hope. Ibrahim's voice carried stronger now. "I was born here, in this same dust. I know hunger, I know the weight of empty hands, but no nation will rise while its children lose their childhoods to sweat and grease. We need doctors, farmers, engineers, builders. They are born in classrooms, not in workshops that steal their dreams." Isa's mother trembled. "And if he fails? If he leaves the shop and cannot succeed, who will carry us then?" Ibrahim stepped down, meeting her tearful eyes. His words slowed, firm as stone. "Then hold me accountable. If Isa fails, it will be my failure. But I will not let him fail. I swear this, not as president but as a father who has seen too many sons lost." Her lips quivered, tears spilled down her cheeks as she whispered, "Take him, but promise me, he will not be forgotten." Ibrahim bowed his head. "I promise. From tonight, Isa belongs not only to you, but to all of us. We will carry him together." A hush spread through the crowd. Doubt lingered, but a few clapped softly. Someone murmured, "Maybe this time, it is different." Ibrahim turned to his aide. "Tomorrow, arrange a stall license for her. She will sell mangoes in dignity, not fear. Let her trade in peace while her son learns." "Yes, Excellency." Isa's mother dropped to her knees, overcome. Ibrahim lifted her gently. "Stand tall. You are not begging. You are receiving what you always deserved. Justice." That same night, Ibrahim arranged Isa's enrollment at a nearby school. He met with the headmaster himself. "This boy is special. He sketches machines from his mind. Nurture him. Protect his gift." The headmaster, astonished, nodded. "We will." Before leaving, Ibrahim crouched before Isa. "Your life changes tonight. Tomorrow you will carry books, not wrenches. Will you be ready?" Isa's eyes shone, though his voice wavered. "I will try." "Do not try," Ibrahim said firmly. "Do." Isa nodded. As the convoy pulled away, his mother stood in the street, hands clasped over her heart, watching the taillights fade. For the first time in years, she felt something long buried: hope. And Isa, gazing out at the city lights, whispered to himself, "I will not fail." But neither he nor Ibrahim knew what awaited. Jealous whispers, mocking classmates, and the heavy weight of doubt that clings tighter than chains. The fight had only just begun. At dawn, the city awoke with its usual chorus. Roosters crowed, pots clanged, chains rattled as shopkeepers lifted shutters. Isa rose from his mat and clutched his satchel. Inside were 2 new notebooks, a stub of a pencil, and, tucked carefully between the pages, the crumpled car sketch Ibrahim had once picked from the dust. His school uniform was stiff and too clean, the kind of cloth that made his hands, used to grease and metal, feel out of place. At the school gate, he froze. Children ran past him laughing. He stood rooted, unsure whether he belonged. Then a tall shadow stepped beside him. "You step into this place," Ibrahim said quietly, his voice steady, "and you do not step out until you've proven to yourself you belong." Isa nodded, swallowing his fear. "Today I am not Excellency," Ibrahim added with a faint smile. "Today I am simply the man who believes in you." The bell rang, loud and sharp. Isa walked inside. The first class was reading. The teacher, a stern man with glasses that kept sliding down his nose, pointed Isa to the last bench. Whispers trailed him like smoke. "Mechanic boy," a classmate hissed. Snickers followed. "Silence," the teacher snapped, writing a sentence on the chalkboard. "Read this aloud." One by one, the children stood and read smoothly. When it was Isa's turn, he rose, throat dry. The letters blurred, swimming on the board. He stumbled on the first word, butchered the second. Laughter exploded. The teacher's ruler cracked against the desk. "Enough. Sit down. Learn first, speak later." Isa sank back, cheeks burning. At break, he sat alone under the shade of a neem tree, nibbling a dry biscuit. His shoulders sagged. An old man, the school custodian with a limp, lowered himself onto the bench beside him. I saw you, the man said gently. The first day is always a hard stone. Maybe I should go back to the shop, Isa whispered. The man chuckled softly. To turn bolts is easy. To turn a life, much harder. His eyes fell on Isa's satchel. You draw, don't you? Isa blinked. Yes. The custodian nodded. You hold a pencil like a mason holds a trowel. Draw. When letters fight you, draw the lines that wait for you. My name is Musa. Isa opened his notebook. Slowly, carefully, he sketched a car, lean and labeled, every part patient and precise. His chest loosened. Math came next. Numbers rose like walls he couldn't climb. His answers scattered, mistakes glaring in red ink. You are behind, the teacher said flatly. You will need work. That evening, Isa trudged home. At the mango stall, his mother counted coins beside her new laminated license, her hands no longer chased by fear of the police. She searched his face for hope. He forced a smile and helped her pack. But that night, as he lay down, doubt pressed heavy against his chest. 2 days later, the past came knocking. The mechanic, bitter and restless, complained to a local official. The president has stolen my worker, he growled. Soon after, 3 men marched into Isa's classroom. The room fell silent. Where is the boy pulled from honest work to sit idly in a chair? The official demanded. Isa rose, voice small but steady. I am here. Can you read? Can you count? The man sneered. A few students giggled. Then, footsteps. The door opened. Ibrahim entered, not with fanfare, but with quiet command. The room froze. Continue, he said firmly. Ask your questions to me as well. The official cleared his throat. We seek to ensure standards. Ibrahim's eyes burned. Here is your standard. No child will be examined for shame. If you have questions, ask his teachers. Ask me. But do not carve his spirit with your doubt. The official stammered, paling under his gaze. The mechanic lowered his eyes. Ibrahim turned to the class. Sometimes the real test is not for the child. It is for the adults who watch. Then he placed a hand on Isa's shoulder. Hold your ground. At break, Ibrahim joined Isa beneath the neem tree. What hurts you most? Isa's eyes dropped. The letters run from me. The numbers stack like bricks, and the others, they are loud in my head. Ibrahim crouched, drawing a circle in the dust. When a wall rises before you, do you ram it with your skull? No. You look for the door. We will find the door. After school, you will have tutoring. The very next day, a woman arrived. Engineer Awa, sleeves rolled, eyes sharp with energy. She laid rulers, a compass, and a small solar motor on the desk. I hear you draw cars, she said. Isa nodded. Good. Then I will teach you the math that makes them move. Numbers are not stones, Isa. They are music. You only need to listen. She taught him slope as a rising road, angles as turns, division as weight shared across axles. For the first time, numbers sang instead of shouted. His pencil glided where it once stumbled. Nights found him hunched by candlelight, sketching machines while his mother sorted mangoes. Slowly, letters began to form words. Numbers began to form answers. Mockery in class softened into curiosity. The boy with tidy braids leaned over one day and whispered, Can you show me how you label the parts? 2 more boys gathered. Soon, Isa was no longer the outcast. One afternoon, the mechanic appeared by the fence, his hat twisted nervously in his hands. I was wrong to shout, he admitted. The shop feels quiet without you, but maybe, quiet is what a child deserves. Isa lifted his chin. One day, I will visit, not to work, but to fix what I broke, with drawings, not my bones. The man nodded and walked away. Midterms arrived. Reading, math, and design waited. On the final day, Isa placed a small model on the windowsill, a wooden frame, bottle cap wheels, and a tiny solar chip. The afternoon sun touched it. The wheels quivered, then rolled forward. A hush fell over the class. Then cheers erupted. The headmaster lifted the model, astonished. Who showed you this? Isa looked down, then smiled faintly. A teacher, and a country that believed I could be more. When reports were handed out, Isa's hands shook. No red crosses, blue ticks, a few stars. In bold green letters, applied design, excellent. He ran home and placed the paper on the mango stall. His mother traced the letters with trembling fingers. Tears slid silently down her cheeks. That night, under a sky full of stars, Isa drew a long road lined with tiny lamps, each one a promise. At the bottom, he wrote in clumsy but proud letters, I will build what we need. Somewhere across the city, Ibrahim paused in his own work, as if hearing the quiet song of that promise. A smile touched his face. The seed was breaking soil. The months passed, not with great leaps, but with small, steady steps. Isa's handwriting grew steadier. Numbers no longer terrified him. Fractions still tangled his mind. Spelling tests still made him sweat. But he stumbled forward, not backward. At school, his classmates began to notice. One day, Kader, the loudest boy to mock him, leaned over. How do you draw that curve so straight? Isa shrugged, shy. I just keep trying. Soon, others asked too. Little by little, the boy once laughed at became someone worth listening to. Respect wasn't given to him, it was earned. But the climb was hard. Many nights Issa fell asleep with his head on his books, candle burning low. His mother would quietly cover him with her scarf and whisper, "Rest, my son, tomorrow will wait." In class, Engineer Awa placed a broken fan on his desk. "Take it apart," she told him. His hands shook at first, but then memory guided him. Bolts, tools, order. Piece by piece, he laid it out. When he reassembled it, the fan coughed, then hummed to life. The class gasped. "It works," Awa said with pride. "Knowledge is not only in books, it is in practice guided by thought." Word spread quickly. Villagers spoke differently now. Not the president's pet, but the boy who fixed a fan. Not the mechanic child, but the student who doesn't give up. At home, Issa drew by candlelight, sketches of a cart with stronger wheels, a pulley to ease his mother's back, a lamp to light the stall at night. They were only drawings, not yet real, but his mother treated them like treasures. One afternoon, Ibrahim appeared at the stall. He watched Issa, bent over his notebook. "You are growing," Ibrahim said softly. Issa looked up, eyes tired but bright. "I am trying." "Trying," Ibrahim answered, "is the road to doing. Step by step. Never rush the climb. Even mountains rise from small stones." That night, Issa dreamed not of grease and bolts, but of roads lit with lamps, stretching far into tomorrow. The dry season returned, and with it, the end of term. The school buzzed with excitement. Songs rehearsed, uniforms pressed, report cards prepared. But Issa carried a heavy heart. He had worked harder than ever, yet doubt gnawed at him. "What if I fail?" he whispered one night. His mother cupped his face. "They laughed when you carried grease. They laugh less now, and one day, they will not laugh at all." Final exams began. Long days of silence, ink-stained fingers, sleepless nights. There were written tests, yes, but in applied design, the exam was practical. Each student had to build something that showed what they had learned. When his turn came, Issa wheeled in a small wooden cart. Its frame was patched together from scraps. Its roof held a tiny solar panel he had begged and borrowed to get. "Light," he explained nervously, "is everywhere. If we can use it, even a small cart can carry water or goods for a family." The teachers leaned forward. Children craned their necks. Issa placed the cart in the sunlight. For a moment, nothing. His heart thudded. Then slowly, the wheels trembled and began to roll. Gasps spread through the class. Children clapped. Teachers exchanged surprised glances. One examiner tapped his pen, whispering, "This is more than effort. This is vision." When the results were posted, children swarmed the board. Issa's chest pounded. Then Cater shouted, "Issa, you're at the top!" There it was. His name, first place. Applied design, excellent. Science, high marks. Overall, first. He ran home, report pressed to his chest. His mother traced the letters with trembling hands, tears streaming down her face. "You have done it, my son. You have lifted us both." At the closing ceremony, the headmaster's voice rang out. "This year we honor not only perseverance, but achievement. The boy who faced scorn, who stumbled, but never gave up, who now stands first among his peers. Issa, come forward." Gasps spread. Issa walked to the stage, legs shaking. "And today," the headmaster continued, "the government awards him a full scholarship, covering both his studies and his family's needs. For when one child rises, a home must not fall." The courtyard erupted. Mothers wept, fathers nodded, children clapped wildly. His mother hid her face in her hands, overcome. From the back, Ibrahim Traoré stepped forward. No convoy, no ceremony, just a man walking steadily. He raised Issa's hand high. When I found him, he was bent under a car, his hands black with grease. Today he holds a notebook, a dream, and a future. Do not call him lucky. Call him determined. If Issa can rise, so can your children. He placed a hand on the boy's shoulder. Your road is long, Issa. Tonight is not the end. It is the beginning. Walk with humility, and never forget where you came from. Issa turned to the crowd, voice trembling but clear. I am not perfect. I still make mistakes. But now I know I can learn, and if I can, so can every child who dares to dream. The applause shook the courtyard, not for perfection, but for possibility. That evening, Ibrahim walked with Issa and his mother through the cheering neighborhood. At the stall, Ibrahim paused. Tonight, Issa, you did not win only for yourself, you won for every child watching. Later, Ibrahim slipped Issa's first smudged sketch into a leather folder marked future projects. He traced the lines softly. Let this remind me, he whispered, that leadership is not crowns or palaces, but lifting one child high enough that others see the way. And so Issa's story spread, not as a miracle, but as proof of what steady courage, a mother's sacrifice, and a leader's compassion could build. Issa's journey teaches us that true change does not come overnight. It comes step by step, through patience, sacrifice, and belief. Poverty can chain a child's hands, but education frees the mind. A mother's love, a leader's compassion, and a child's determination together can transform despair into hope. The real power of leadership is not in wealth or titles, but in lifting one forgotten child until he stands tall enough for others to see the way. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss powerful stories like this. Thank you for watching and for believing in the power of compassion and true leadership.